Hey. Hey guys, sorry I'm answering a question real quick on Facebook while I'm letting everybody hop on. How's everybody doing tonight? So, I am just going to be working on some questions, kind of like I've been doing the last couple times that we've gone live, like getting some free resources together for you guys. But I'm also going to kind of be catching up on emails and stuff too. But I figure since I haven't gone live a whole lot and answered questions, I've been getting a whole lot of questions on a lot of things. So, hey Shannon, hey everybody, hey Michelle. So I figure while I'm just going to be sitting here doing some admin work, hey Heather. I figure I would give everybody a chance to ask some questions. And I know I am looking a hot, heaping pile of you know what tonight. And that's totally fine. I was not planning on doing live, so I did not do my hair today. I did not do anything today. So you all are seeing the absolute chaos that is my normal, just day to day. Shannon, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that question. Like, I was feeling pretty good today, and then my headache started coming back. So, I don't know what's going on with me. I think it's just that time of year. I think it is the weather, if I'm being totally honest. I think it's just our pressure changes. We actually had a pretty nice, it was like, I think high 60s today. It's 57 right now. So it's probably just the pressure changes and stuff. For sure. You got a migraine. Yeah. Cardio's intense. Cardio's insane. So yeah, I can completely empathize with that for sure. Update table. Yeah. Yeah, it goes from 30 to 60. Yeah, and then, so I think we're supposed to, let me look at the weather, because I know that I look at it very rarely because it changes 800 times in a day here in Ohio Valley. Tomorrow we're supposed to be 70, and then we're back in the 50s and the 40s. So yeah, I am used to it anymore. Unfortunately, it's just a normal thing for me. I'm supposed to do my injection next week, so hopefully that will keep it. So generator, I'm seriously considering medical coding as a career change. What do you do now? Just curious. hesitant to spend the money. So Ray just finished her courses, bought the study guide from AAPC, studying for CRC. That's a fun certification for sure. I have mine. I started out my career in CRC and risk adjustment. So yeah. Nikki, I want to do cardio. Transcription for one. Hubby had an MI and 2 laters had a cabbage. Yeah. Cardio is intense from a coding standpoint, just because there's just so much that can go into it. But I mean, yeah, cardio, from what I've heard, I do have friends and I do have colleagues that do all cardio and they love it. They say once you get the hang of it, it's just like normal. Like it's just, there's not anything, like you get used to it, I guess. You get used to the chaos, I guess is the best word. So yeah, I don't know that I can wrap my brain around it enough to do it all day, every day. I like to jump around and do different specialties. What is the final exam like for the fundamentals of medicine? So you will have technically 3 final exams for the fundamentals of medicine, because you will have one for your midterm class, one for your anatomy class, and one for your pathophysiology class. It's going to be just like a combination of everything. Now, what I like to tell people from a MTAP or a fundamentals of medicine course, then you don't have to memorize everything. You can use Google, you can use all your resources during your final exams, because you're going to be just building on that foundation of knowledge as you go through the rest of your courses for like CPC, if that's what you're going towards. So you don't have to memorize it. That is a complete unrealistic expectation. So just use that and kind of build on that knowledge. Yeah. Okay, so Jen, I work at USPS. I used to work in health insurance and did medical billing for substance abuse. Whew, that's a lot. I'm sure that was heavy. So if you make the leap, I've had students that have come from government, that have come from realtors, from education, like just teaching high school social studies, and then they do it. It definitely is a rewarding leap if you do decide to do it. If you want to shoot me a message and we can kind of talk about it, I'm happy to kind of give you my experience with making the switch, and, students that have made the switch, and all of that. Just make sure that I stay away from the colleges that want to, sucker you into an associate's degree, or that you're going to have to take out student loans and be paying on those loans forever. That's what I did. And I highly regret it. I wish I would have known then what I know now. Nikki, yeah, if you're in a specialty, typically that's the only specialty that you'll do. Jen, I have students that are like late 50s, early 60s. So, hey, Becky. I know it's a big jump, for sure. Sorry, I'm trying to read this document and figure out where, there it is. I was trying to figure out where I had left off earlier today. Yeah. Yeah, I went through the same thing. I fell for it hook, line, and sinker back in the day. But like I said, if you want to do it, look for a program like Legacy, where I'm an instructor, and look at those types of programs where we teach exactly what you need to know. Nope, Nikki, you do not have to have an associate's degree. Nope, they are doing that because they want you to come and pay for fluff courses and all of that. Nope. I have my associate's degree, but I have like managers of mine do not have any degrees, and they just have their coding certifications. If you want to go into like, what's the word I'm trying to think of? If you want to go into, sorry, my brain has just stopped working. Like hospital coding, if you want to go into facility coding and up into management and things along those lines, then your degrees might benefit you in those areas. But from a professional standpoint, no, degrees are really not going to give you much of anything besides stress and student loans and debt. You're taking your medical assisting with billing and coding. Okay. How are you liking it? Valerie, no, you do not have to memorize terms. You just need to be familiar enough with them so that when you see them, that you kind of have an idea of what to expect, of what the procedures are and things along those lines. But no, you do not have to memorize them. You will have the ability to look things up. And as you kind of do your procedures and things, then they'll start to, like, your recall will get better with them. Sherry, what happens if you let your AAPC membership lapse? You will lose your certification. AAPC does require that you hold that certification, or you hold a membership while you have your certification. If you let it lapse, then you will have to test again in order to get that CPC back. You have an associate's degree in something else. Was looking into AAPC self-paced. So look into our program that we have at Legacy Education, because we are an AAPC licensed educator or a program. So therefore, we license the AAPC material from them. We teach from that AAPC material, and our prices are lower. So look at that link in my bio, and I'll go over everything that's in the course here in a little bit, if you want to kind of talk about it. Amanda, those programs accept my CAA. I don't. I know that there is one that does tend to accept grants, but I don't know if they would accept the my CAA or not. Question, does needles matter when it comes to biopsy? If you're doing a needle biopsy, yes, that is different from an open excision biopsy. Rocks, I have a bachelor's degree in public accounting. Is this fine for coding? You actually don't have to have any degrees for coding. Chapter 4 for review. Chapter 4 is a lot. Chapter 4 is heavy. It's just, I mean, it's ICD-10. It's the very beginning of ICD-10, learning a lot of the heavy chapters for ICD-10. So, yeah. Valerie, trust me, I know, I get it. I'm the exact same way. I want to know everything and pick up on it quickly. So whenever I don't, but you don't have to memorize it. I promise. It will all start to come together. Yeah, anybody that wants to talk directly about the course, then yeah, we absolutely can. Shoot me a message. Everything that's included in the course. So I'll go over it really quickly. We have 2 options for the CPC course. You can either do the self-paced, which is $2,700, which includes your textbook, your workbook, all 3 of your coding manuals. You get your AAPC membership for 1 year. You get 2 exam vouchers for the CPC exam. You get as much coaching as you need throughout your course. You get book prep. You get, I'm trying to go through the list of everything in my head. You get a boot camp to kind of put everything together at the end. You get resume services, Practico to remove the A, and then you get an internship to give you actual on-the-job experience. So all of that is the self-paced course. That is $2,700. You can use code TRCC, get 10% off that, which takes $270 off. Or you can do the instructor-led if you feel like you need a little bit more support, if you feel like you learn best when actually attending class with structure, things along those lines. That is $3,700. Again, you can use code TRCC and get 10% off. And you can, you get one 3-hour session per week, either Tuesday or Thursday. And that 3-hour session, we go over scenarios, we answer questions, we just kind of dive into the material, we get you really familiar with things like that. So you do get, like I said, with the self-paced option, you do get that instructor support, but it's not 3 dedicated hours per week during class. Does the CRC in course tutoring? Yes. So if you do the CRC course with Legacy, it does include coaching with me. I am the CRC coach at Legacy. So you would get coaching with me. So yes, that is something that you did get with the CRC course. Do you recommend writing notes in the ICD book after going through the chapters or before? It totally is up to you. Sometimes people will do it as a refresher. Sometimes people will do it so that as they're learning the material, they've got those notes already there. It totally just depends. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. In AU, is that the Auburn Preppy? Do they accept my CAA? I don't know if they do or not, so... Amanda, is that Preppy? I think it is. Yeah. Okay. Make sure with Preppy, this is one thing I have heard and I have heard complaints about. Make sure whenever they send you the books, they are sending you this CPT, which is the AMA Professional Edition, not the CPT Expert or there's another one. It's a gray cover. But make sure it has to be this book. So let them know if they have not sent you the book yet. Let them know you want the CPT Professional Edition from AMA. Amanda, that's my biggest piece of advice going through Auburn or through Preppy. Because I have heard that there are people that get that one book that you cannot use. And so you have to spend money outside of the course to purchase the book, and it is not a cheap book. Nikki, yeah. The chapter 4 and chapter 5 are hard. So just keep practicing. There's scenarios and not scenarios, but if you go to medicalbillcode.com/resources, there are some questions for ICD-10 CM that you can use for additional support. Also, if you go to the sorry, my brain like literally just stopped working. If you go to the YouTube channel that's in the link in my bio, there are study group sessions that I have held over ICD-10 CM, if that will help you process the information a little bit easier. Yeah, Amanda, they are not cheap books for sure. Lovely Lauren, I'm a claims adjuster, but I have public health degree trying to switch into coding now. Yeah, it's a good field to switch into for sure. Again, I mean, I know I've talked about it a little bit. Legacy Education is where I'm a coach. We offer the AAPC material. So we can give you the exact same thing as AAPC, but we have a lot more support and our prices are better. So look into our program if you are interested in switching into coding, and if you want that additional support. If you have any questions about the program, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. Generator, interested in learning more about the internship. Okay, so the way that it works is you have to complete the course, you have to get certified, then you have to complete Practicode to remove the apprenticeship. From there, you will, once you complete your Practicode and you remove your apprenticeship, then you can get enrolled into the internship, or the internship. So the internship is at your own pace. You have 400 cases that you have to code, and you obviously can do it at your own pace. You can do it all remotely. Email us with any questions that you have, things along those lines. We can do coaching during Practicode or during your internship as you need it. And then once you complete your internship, that counts as on-the-job experience. But like I said, it's completely at your own pace. It's not a 9 to 5. You don't have to show up anywhere. Sorry, Angie, I saw that question and then I got distracted. Yes. So dental billing. I used to do dental like way back in the day. I was in dental before I moved over into medical coding. Do you have specific questions about dental coding or just in general? You're a scheduler. Okay, Miss Devious, and you're looking to get into coding. Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity out there for sure getting into coding. You just have to make sure you have the right certifications and the right training. Yeah, the books are expensive. It definitely is an investment. That is for sure. In general, you're wanting to take a course to get certified. I know that there is a course through AAPC. I don't know anything about it, to be totally honest. Let me look and see if I can pull it up here real quick and figure out some details on it for you. Hey, Jeannie. It's been touch and go. I was good for a couple of days and then it unfortunately came back today. But so far it hasn't been too bad today. The internship is if you're a student of Legacy Education, Leah. Right, Amanda. Yep. So the internship, you have to complete the CPC course with us at Legacy to be eligible for the internship. Sorry, I'm trying to read on the dental course. I'm trying to find it. I know it's out here somewhere. I used to know how to get around the AAPC website, and they just updated it not too long ago. There we go. So if you go to hang on, who was it that was asking about dental? I'm going back to it. Angie. So if you go to AAPC, let me change my screen here really quickly, and I'll show you how I found it. So if you go to, I got to figure out how I'm going to do this so you can see the screen and like actually be able to see it. Oh, hang on. I have too much stuff going on my desk. So if you go to the aapc.com website, and I'll show you where I got it. If you go up here to training and events, and then you go to your specialty certificates, and then if you scroll down a little bit, your dental should be here. So the dental course, you're going to have a whole separate book. You're going to have CDT instead of CPT. And then you can do the course only for $349 if you have the books already. If you need the books, then you've got this for $449. But if you want because we know dental can have medical insurance for procedures and things like that. So you would have to have your ICD-10 and your CPTs with them as well. So if you need all of it, it's $649. So they do have a training out there. I've never gone through it. Like I said, I did it years and years and years ago. But I've never gone through their training. But it's not going to be like any type of actual certification. It's just a certificate course that you'll get a certificate with a completion. All right. You can't find any reviews. Yeah, I know. It's not a super popular one from what I know, but I don't know. Latasha, do you prefer self-paced or an instructor for someone not in the field? That's totally going to depend on how your learning styles and everything are as to whether or not. If you feel like you are pretty organized and you won't need that additional like education or support or I'm trying to think of the word to use, but if you feel like you won't necessarily need too much of that additional support or structure, then I mean self-paced is a great option. There are some people like me, I cannot learn in a self-paced environment. I do like to have that instructor or that instructor like led type of structure. Prettier, there's a lot of places that are hiring with apprentice. I know that Judge Group and CSI are doing a whole lot of hiring right now for HCC coding. So make sure you go out there and look at those. How long is the internship? So the internship is going to be however long it takes you to complete those courses or those cases. So if it takes you 3 months to do all 400 cases, then you'll have 3 months of on the job. If you're having to work it between other schedules and life and all of those things, and it takes you 12 months, then you can count that as 12 months of experience. Medical coding with legacy education. The YouTube. The link is up in my bio as well. Self-paced. Are there any videos that you watch or are you reading through the books? So self-paced and self-taught are going to be two separate things. Okay. Self-paced is you are going to have a course with structure that you do through basically like their curriculum. You read their textbooks, you watch like the AAPC. Self-paced. Self-taught is going to be you are not going through any program that has any support. You find textbooks that will support you and you read those textbooks and you teach yourself. So if you are doing self-taught, then yes, there are a lot of videos and things that you can watch. We have a lot of resources out on our YouTube channel. There's a bunch of other educators that are out there on YouTube that have some really great videos. You can just do a simple Google search for medical coding or CPT or ICD-10 or whatever subject it is that you're working on. And that is something that you can do. So you just ordered the CRC study guide. Do you have experience with it? With CRC? Or do you have a coding certification already? That's just going to kind of help me give an idea of what to tell you next steps. So Prettier, my advice for once you are getting ready to get out into the workforce, make sure that you have a resume that is professionally done. Those professional resume writers, they know the keywords to use. They know how to term things and all of that so that it gets past those like AI scrubbers that they have in the system. So that's the biggest thing that our students have told us have helped, because they get more interviews, because their resumes are written very well. So what is the job market right now for a coder? I can only speak for, I can't really speak for a whole lot of people, but I know that our students at Legacy tend to land jobs within a couple of weeks, if not a couple of months, after they get certified, because they have the professional resume. They have the knowledge and the good foundation that's built. They not only know how to pass the certification exam, but they know how to code in the real world. They know how to pick out certain things in reports, because we don't just teach how to pass the exam in multiple choice. We teach you how to code from scratch. So that is why our students are able to usually land jobs a little bit easier, because we prepare them very well for what to expect out in the real world. Once you get an interview, most of your employers, before they offer you a job, then they will want you to pass a employment screening, where they're going to give you some cases and they're going to give you some scenarios and they're going to want you to code those. If your program only taught you how to code from multiple choice, you are not going to be able to pass those. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you go through a program that's going to teach you everything, and not, we'll get you to pass the certification exam and then, you'll get a job immediately. It's not going to happen. So even with the AAPC 50% off promotion this month, Latasha, we are cheaper than the AAPC program. So the AAPC program, with their 50% off, their self-paced is $2,700, and you still have to buy your books and everything else. Our self-paced program is $27.99 is theirs. Our self-paced is $2,700, and we offer books, resume services, bootcamp, internship, Practicode, all of those things included. So just kind of keep that in mind. Yeah, resume is huge. So MJ, if you need a CPC bootcamp, I am hosting one in March the 22nd March the 22nd. And it is $150, but it's actually $135 if you use code TRCC, because you get 10% off. So if you are interested in that, the link is in my bio. So Latasha, we are an AAPC approved program. We license the material from AAPC. So when you go through Legacy, you are getting the exact same course as you would get through AAPC. However, we are able to offer additional things, because that's just the leniency that they give us. We just have to use their material, and then we can include anything or not include anything, things like that. Since we are a smaller program, you are going to have more one-on-one support with your instructors. Whereas with AAPC, when you do AAPCs, you're going to send it to the same mailbox as 50,000 people are sending their questions to. Whereas with us, whenever you send us a question, it comes directly to myself and Rachel, who are the two coaches with Legacy. And then we will answer, and you get one-on-one coaching. We can set up Zoom meetings. We can do all of that kind of stuff. But you get the exact same course and everything as you do with AAPC. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. There's a whole bunch of like people that have joined, but comments are in the middle, so I'm making sure I'm not missing anything. On boot camp, so the TRCC discount, Alexandria, TRCC is good for anything on the Legacy website. So medicalbillcode.com/CPC, and that TRCC takes 10% off of anything and everything, whether it be a course, a boot camp, book prep, practice exams, study guides, anything that's out there. What is boot camp? So boot camp is designed for someone that has already gone through a course, that already has knowledge, and they just want a refresher. So kind of think of it as a very high level overview, and like we just cram, and not cram, but we do. We kind of like touch on everything at a high level and just kind of refresh your memory right before you go into the exam. Latasha, if you're wanting to sign up for this CPC course, you can go to the link in my bio. It's medicalbillcode.com/CPC. And then the links are there to sign up. We do have financing options available as well. So if you do not have a credit card or a savings or anything along those lines that you can pay in full, then financing options are available through us. Because trust me, if I had to drop the money myself, I would not be able to do it either. So financing would definitely be something that I would have to look into on my own. The boot camp, you can sign up in the link in my bio as well, medicalbillcode.com/CPC. And there's a boot camp section on the website. We have a CPC boot camp and we have an E&M boot camp. Can you print notes on the stickers and put them in the book for the exam? Nope. If you write in your book, it has to be written on pages, but you cannot write into like those transparent stickers or things like that and then put them in the book, because that is considered adding writable surface into the book. So you can only write on the book and the pages themselves. You cannot print anything out and tape it or staple it or sticky note it or anything into the book. Unfortunately, no. What other questions you guys got? I don't think I missed any questions, but do y'all have any other questions you can think of? I know I did these questions earlier. Apparently, my document did not save earlier, and I am duplicating work, which is frustrating beyond belief. Yes, on the blank paper sections in the book. So like for instance, and I'll show you. I don't have any in mind, but like anything that's blank like this, you can write on this. You can write anywhere essentially that there is extra space. So this is what my book looks like. There's all kinds of notes and things like that. I just want to make sure this is the correct one. The CRC self-paced is what includes 3 hours. No, the CPC instructor led is what you get, the 3 hours per week. Is it hard to get a job in the field after getting certified? I mean, it's definitely not like super easy, but right now the job market, it's hard to just get a job, period. But if you do your correct certifications, if you know how to code, if you have your your resume and things done, it definitely does open up doors. Yeah, Jen, coding is definitely legit. I've been doing it since 2007, so 18 years. Gosh, I can't believe it's been 18 years. Yeah, it is definitely a career. I just realized why I was doing double the work, because I was not looking at the right page. So there we go. It's been one of those days, guys, I'm telling you. If you're looking for someone for resumes, we use Sarah Reagan at Caffeinated Career Creations. Again, her link is up in my bio if you want to reach out to her. She is amazing, hands down, at what she does. Secure it, yes. Book prep is included in all of our legacy CPC courses, whether it's self-paced or instructor-led. Bieber Queen says, are you going to do more 30,000 questions through the CPC study group? Those are helping. I don't have any more slated or scheduled to do. And I believe they were the same questions from the last one that I did as well. So they wouldn't be anything new if you went to the previous recordings. I'm thinking about getting my certification and doing part-time. So Abby, part-time coding work is going to be very hard to find, being totally transparent in it. Most of the employers that will allow for part-time jobs, they will require that there is experience, because they only want to train you on the systems and not how to code itself. So if you don't have experience, part-time is going to be very difficult to find. How often do I meet with the instructor? If you're doing instructor-led, it is once per week for 3 hours a week. It's either Tuesday or Thursday, depending on the session that you sign up for. So the April 3rd class is going to be a Thursday class. So it will be every Thursday for 12 weeks from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got your HIT certificate 7 years ago. Have you been actively coding for 7 years, or have you actively been using that code set and anything along those lines? Elizabeth, the schedule for what? You have not. Okay. So what I would suggest, if you are wanting to get your CPC, then what I would suggest is get the CPC study guide from AAPC. From there, you will want to kind of go through, take some AAPC practice exams, see what kind of information you have retained. If you feel like you've retained majority of it and you just need to refresh on a couple topics, then just study those. But if you do your practice exams and you realize that you haven't used that muscle in your brain in a while, and you've lost all of that knowledge, which is completely, trust me, if I don't use it, I'll lose it. Then a course may be something that you might want to look into. But that's what I would do, is I would start out with the study guide, and things like that. And then kind of see where you stand. from there. Any tips on inpatient surgery coding? I will be honest, I've never done an inpatient coding position or anything like that, so I probably would not be able to give you the best of advice. From an ICD-10 PCS standpoint, my brain cannot wrap around it. I've tried it multiple times and I accepted defeat. It is one of those things that ICD-10 PCS is a whole different beast and ball game, and my brain it's stuck in the professional coding world. So there are some people that can juggle between the two. My poor brain is not one of those brains, unfortunately. When working, are you sitting there reading through tons of pages of notes to find what codes are needed? So sometimes yes, sometimes no. There's going to be some software that is going to help you find what you need to find. There's going to be sometimes that you are going to have to read everything. It's all just going to depend on what type of specialty you go into and what type of office that you're in. On the CPC exam, no, you do not need the ICD-10 PCS. Having trouble getting started after graduating and passing the AHIMA CCA. Yeah, CCA is not a super widely recognized. I mean, it is because it is AHIMA. However, they prefer to have that CCS instead of the CCA. So my suggestion on that is study for your CCS and get certified in CCS. And that will help, for sure. How do you know what order to sequence the codes? From a CPT standpoint, you are going to, use your RVUs. And that is going to help you sequence those CPT codes. So the highest complexity is going to have the highest RVU, and then the lower complexity is going to have the lower RVU. So you will sequence those in descending order. From an ICD-10 standpoint, you're going to go by your guidelines. If you have a chapter-specific guideline, then you'll follow that. If you don't have a chapter-specific guideline, then the general rule is going to be the reason for the encounter is what is going to be your first listed code. So the underlying thing there is just know your guidelines. Jeannie, you started writing your RVUs. Yeah, it's a process. For sure. Those are included in the book prep. So if you guys are interested in purchasing the book prep, that is included. So that will help you from a coding from scratch standpoint. Your course includes the medical coding training book. Yep. So the course itself, let me find my books in my leaning tower of books over here. The course itself includes your textbook, which is the training manual. It includes the workbook, which is your practical application. And then you get your ICD-10-CM, which is your conditions or diseases or the reason for the encounter. You get your HCPCS, which is services that are provided that are not covered in CPT, as well as supplies like crutches, wheelchairs, DME, drugs, things along those lines. and then your CPT, which is your professional services for your providers. Why are RVUs already included in the book if it's needed? So from a testing standpoint, you will not need your RVUs. However, from a coding from scratch and a learning standpoint, your RVUs are very important so that you know how to sequence your conditions or sequence your procedures. Jocelyn, you can use code TRCC for 10% off of anything on the website, whether it be book prep, whether it be guidelines, whether it be a course, boot camp, anything along those lines. Does it include the online version as well? Michelle, are you talking about the books? What are you asking about the online version for? I want to make sure I'm answering your question correctly. The books. So no, it does not include ebooks. If you want ebooks, it would be an additional cost. However, in my personal opinion, ebooks are not super user-friendly. Sakura, are you signing up for the instructor-led in June? If so, yes. I will be your coach for the June instruction. Oh, Nat, you got a job offer for Optum for HCC. Awesome. I started out in HCC. It's a great foundation to start out in for sure. It will be a lot of information that you are going to retain. Do not let the first couple of weeks intimidate you or stress you out. But just lean on your trainers for sure. Ask as many questions as you need to ask to understand and retain the information. It's gonna be a whirlwind, but it's gonna be 100% worth it for sure. Do you need something? Do you need to like something in specific to be a biller or coder? No, not really. As long as you can pay attention to detail and interpret guidelines, then no, there's not really a specific thing for sure. You just signed up for self-paced CPC and logged into Blackboard. Yeah, you can do chapters 1 and 2 without your books. So you can do the interactive lectures in chapters 1 and 2. Absolutely. We have lots of students that do that start out with 1 and 2 while they're waiting for their books. Hey, Fifi. How do you do that without the books? So doing chapters 1 and 2 without the books, you will just do your interactive lectures in Blackboard. Let me finish this question real quick and I'll show you guys what I mean. Hang on, I'm finishing up this last little question here real quick, and then I'll open up Blackboard and show you guys. Pacemaker system, insertion, electrode. Okay, so I'm doing good, Fifi. How are you? How's your day been? All right, so I'm going to flip the camera and I'm going to show you guys this really quickly. On I have found that this is really the only way I can show you guys my screen. I know it's not the best of angles, but if you go to Blackboard and then you sign in, once you sign into your course, I'm going to open up the learner preview so that you see you don't see the instruction side of things. So once you are in Blackboard, okay, you're going to open up your first chapter, and then since you don't have your books yet, you are not going to read this chapter, because since you don't have ebook access, then it's just going to pop up a blank screen. You're not going to be able to get access to it. But you will go to your interactive lectures. And then in your interactive lectures, then you'll walk through and do your interactive lecture for the chapter. And then you'll click on each section, and it's going to pop up most of the information that you need to know in here. Once you are done with the interactive lecture, you will go in and do your experiential learning, which is basically an assessment. You'll go through, you'll answer all of your questions. There's 10 questions for this practical application. So you'll answer and then submit. And then you have a chapter review exam for each chapter. So you can do that for chapters 1 and 2 because you don't need your coding manuals. And you'll go in and do your check your understanding quiz, your interactive lectures, your experiential learning, and your chapter review exam. So that's your Blackboard platform. And then once you get your books, then you can start doing your introduction, chapter 3, and then your ICD-10, 4, and 5. Does that make sense? Sorry, I'm trying to flip it back around here real quick. Okay, I know there were a couple comments that came in as I was doing that, so let me go back up to those. After getting your certification, how long does it take for you to get a job CPCA? It's going to completely depend on just your job search habits. It's going to depend on what jobs you're applying to, where you are, things along those lines. Devin, I think I know the answer, but can you not do Practicode until you pass your exam? Technically, you can. You can if you wanted to. It's not really going to help you from an exam standpoint to do Practicode, because Practicode is going to be more real world, whereas your exam is going to be multiple choice and things along those lines. So it's just encouraged that you wait until after to do it. You're wanting to, yeah, I would wait until after, just because it can be a little frustrating and intimidating if you don't have your certification yet. I mean, it can be frustrating and intimidating afterwards, just because it's a whole different thought process, because you are coding completely from scratch. You're not getting just the paragraph that makes sense, that you're having to code from. You're actually having to decipher the entire thing. But yeah, I would definitely wait until after you're certified. So Leslie, it does count as the experience to get your apprenticeship removed, but you do also have to have an approved program or 1 year of on-the-job experience to get the the A removed as well. So you can't self-study and then do the Practicode and then it counts, right? You have to have 2 requirements. You have to either have 1 year of a program and a Practicode, or 1 year of on-the-job experience and Practicode in order for it to completely remove your A. So none your biz. That is a very common thing that a lot of people struggle with. With ICD-10, your reason or the condition itself is going to be your main term. Meaning, when we have chronic kidney disease, okay? Chronic is a descriptor. Kidney is where the disease is happening. Disease is the actual condition. So we want to look at what's wrong with the patient, not where, not what organ. So whenever it tells you see condition, that's what it's telling you is see that condition. So if you were to go to kidney, it's going to say see condition, and you need to look at disease and then kidney. So the easiest way that I like to explain it to students is if everybody has one, right? If everybody has a kidney, if everybody has an arm, if everybody has a heart, that's not going to be the condition. The condition is going to be what is affecting that organ. Yeah, Devin, it would probably be overwhelming on top of courses. Absolutely. Can I repeat what? Will you guys give us tips for the possible new certified test? What type of new certified test are you talking about, Sakura? I just want to make sure I'm answering your question correctly. I'm not sure what new certified test you're talking about. Late to the party, but how will I know when I'm ready to schedule the CPC? So you've completed your course. So if you've completed your course, sorry, it's making me do some kind of authentication thing. If you have completed your course, oh, hang on, you had a but. So let me see if you don't have the courage to schedule it. Do practice exams. Do AAPC official practice exams. That's going to be your biggest indicator as to whether you're ready. If you aren't ready, it's going to give you those areas that you need to focus on a little bit more. If you are ready and if you're scoring 80s and 90s on those practice exams, then that tells you that you're ready. I know sometimes making the leap and doing it is the hardest part. Hey, Kat. Yes, the exam is all multiple choice. Yep. As of right now, the CPC exam is 100% multiple choice. There are no fill in the blanks. That is potentially coming, but there has been no indication of when, how much, how many, if they're adjusting anything. So as of right now, everything is multiple choice. My professional opinion, they are not going to change it until the beginning of the year. So I think everybody should be okay. Again, my professional opinion, they may completely change in the middle, but I have never known them in my 18 years of doing this. I have never known them to change an exam in the middle of the year. So keep that in mind. You've been doing practice tests and been doing over 70%, and you've been doing your practice questions. So yeah, I mean, you should be okay with it. Are you getting right at the 70%, or are you scoring like 75, 80s, and 85s? With your HIT cert plus Practicode, as long as you can show transcripts of your course that you went through for the HIT, then that should count. I can't say 100% for sure, but it should. The upcoming class is going to be finished on the 1st of next year. If you're doing sorry, I have the hiccups. If you're doing the June class, then you should be ending, let me look at the calendar here. So if you're doing the June class, you're going to end in the middle of September. So you should have plenty of time to still test in 2025. Hey, Rachel. I'm glad you got to hop on. You're stalking me. I haven't had one on this time yet, so you're the first today. Oh, whoa, I'm glad. I'm glad that it's been helping you for sure. Is there a study guide that you offer for CRC? Yes, we do offer the AAPC study guide for the CRC exam. You can go to medicalbillco.com/CPC, and it's actually at the link in my bio as well. And you'll find the CRC study guide there. You can use code TRCC and get 10% off of that. We do also have CRC practice exams as well, Tay. Sakura, I think you are looking at the CPC and the CPB dual certification course. Yes, so the dual certification, you will finish your CPC at the middle of September, and then you will sit for your CPC, and then the CPB will be what kind of rolls into 2026. But there's not going to be, as of this moment that we know of, nothing is changing for the CPB exam. So as far as your CPC goes, then everything should be good for 2025. You're welcome. I know sometimes, yeah, I know, I get it. Ask all the questions that you need to ask. I know these courses forwards and backwards and all of the things. So any question, probably the reason I can answer questions so easy is they've been asked before. So don't hesitate to ask any questions. Saints Chick. Is Kat still on here? Kat, are you still on here? I know you were on earlier. She is, I'm trying to find her username real quick. Kat J CPC CPMA. She does a lot of coaching. So she is someone that that you might be interested in reaching out to for coaching. Is there someplace I can get a trial of what the job would consist of before I commit to the course? I'll be honest, I don't know of anywhere because the problem with that is HIPAA. There's a lot of things that you can't really just go in and shadow a job because of HIPAA regulations. So that is, yes, Sakura, she is on TikTok. So Kat J CPC CPMA is her, let me look her up on my phone real quick, and then I'll show you what her profile looks like. Her handle is the medical coding girl. This is her. Her name is Kat J, and then CPC, CPMA, and she's got CRC and CPCD. And she's got a lot of years on the job. She's got a lot of experience. She's really good. If we are taking the medical terminology as well, do we do those on top of the other class? So if you are wanting to do the prerequisites, like the MTAP or the MedTerm Anatomy and Physiology, then those can be completed ahead of time. You can do them concurrently, or you can complete them ahead of time. No, the one that I refer to for resumes is Sarah Reagan with Caffeinated Career Creations. So Sarah's link is in my bio. Yes, we do have a medical terminology course as well, Jen. So that's going to be what's known as the prerequisite MTAP. It's going to include medical terminology, anatomy, and pathophysiology. Is it normal to find the practice quizzes in each course to be more difficult than the chapter exams? The practice quizzes, like, do you mean the ones that are in the textbook? Or are you talking about the practical application quizzes? Jen, you would have to purchase the prerequisite or the medical terminology, the MTAP, on top of the course. Kimmy, you got your account info, you went to Genius, but when you enter the Blackboard, it gives you a sign-in error. Are you a student of Legacy, Kimmy? With our program at Legacy, you get 2 certification exam attempts. Okay, what's your first name, Kimmy? I'm going to try to look it up here real quick. Did you just recently sign up for the course? Is that what you're saying, Kimberly? Because it may be hang on, my website is acting weird. Here we go. Okay, so it may be sometimes there's a 24-hour delay on whenever you get your login to when your course actually like appears as available. So if you just got your enrollment, so if you just got your enrollment today, Kim, from Rachel, then check tomorrow. Because it does take sometimes up to that 24 hours for everything to show up. No, Kim, don't feel bad. You are not the first one to say, I'm just excited to get started. It happens. I know I hate that there's that delay, but it just, in order for like us to put everything down, then it just takes, it takes a little bit of time for all of the systems to communicate. So Lady Di, if you make your down payment today, is it possible that you would have your login by Friday? Unfortunately, no. Whenever you do your down payment with SweetPay, it takes 5 business days for them to process it and then send it over to us. So it would take at least 5 business days, not including the weekends, for everything to get finalized and then all of that. So today's Tuesday. They probably wouldn't draft your down payment until at least Thursday, maybe even Friday. So I would say late next week is whenever you would have your login if you made your down payment with SweetPay today. You paid your down payment Monday. Did it get drafted from your bank account Monday? Or did you make it and then they drafted it on another day? It drafted Monday. I would say you probably won't get it until Monday of next week because it's 5 business days, including Monday. So at the earliest, and I mean earliest, we would probably get it late Friday, maybe not even until Monday. So Rachel, if you're still on, do they count the day that it's drafted as day 0 or day 1? Do you know? MedTerm is not required for your course. It is just highly encouraged. If you don't have any type of medical background, so that it makes it a little bit easier to pick up the information. So it's not a requirement, but it's just encouraged. Question. The payment plan for the bundle course is cheaper because you give us more time to complete the program. No, for the, what do you mean? Okay, so SweetPay just released the 218 payments today. So 218, I'm looking at my calendar here at what day of the week that was last week. Okay, so that helps. So for who was it that was asking? Jaleesa. If they just released 218 today and you made your down payment Monday, then they will probably release it next Monday. So I would keep a lookout for Monday or Tuesday of next week. So Lady Di, sorry, I'm going back to your question. For the payment plan for the bundle course, do you mean the dual certification course? Is that what you're saying for the bundle course? Is cheaper because you give us more time to complete the program. I just want to make, okay. So like the dual CPB, CRC, or the CPC, CPB, CRC. So it is a little bit less because we're not having to pay, we're not giving you 2 years of a membership. You're still only getting the 1. So that cost does come down a little bit, and things along those lines. So you get 1 full year for each course, meaning it's a rolling enrollment. So your CPC will start day 1, and then you will get 1 full year for that. We do not enroll you into the next step until you're ready, so that those vouchers and that membership doesn't just sit there and tick away while you're not using it. So we're going to do your CPC once you complete the course. And if you've done a payment plan, you do have to finish your payment plan before we can release your voucher and your membership. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then you will have 1 year for your membership and your CPC exam. If you pass your CPC exam on your first try, then you can go directly into CPB. So keep that in mind. It is a rolling enrollment. So that way, like I said, your time frames aren't ticking away on other areas when you're not using them. So we don't enroll you in everything day 1. How many payment plans can you pay CPB, CP? I'm not sure what question you're asking. I'm not sure what you mean by how many payment plans can you do. Oh, sorry, Graves. I may have seen it and my brain just went right over it because I was answering it as it came in. Practical applications. Yeah, practical applications are hard. Practical applications, a lot of people do find those a lot more difficult than your chapter review exam, just because your chapter review exam, obviously you have your multiple choice. So you're going to have answers that you can kind of verify versus your practical application. That is what's teaching you how to use your index, how to use your book, how to, read your guidelines and all of that and pick everything from scratch. So absolutely 100%. There are plenty of students that do say that your practical applications are harder. So Paris, we have payment plans available. If you need payment plans, there's a 10% discount. There's a 10% down payment if you do the payment plan. Okay. And then it will divide it up into 12 months for the remainder of the balance. Plus there's a little bit of an interest rate, and then you do have a finance or a service charge as well. So the bundle payment plan has to be paid in full in order to, yes. So let's say, for instance, if you complete the CPC course in 6 months, if you don't have that payment plan paid off, then your membership and your exam voucher cannot be activated and redeemed until that payment plan is paid off. So Sakira, whenever you're on the medicalbillco.com website, then you can go all the way up to the top and there's a financing option link, and that takes you to the SweetPay page. Would it be smarter to just do one at a time? It's totally up to you. If you want to do them one at a time or if you want to do them together, it's completely up to you. Once you finish the courses, do we apply the certification from AAPC or from Legacy? So the course completion is going to have Legacy Education saying that you went through a course with Legacy through AAPC. But your CPC certification is going to come directly from AAPC. We have nothing to do with the actual certification for your CPC. We just offer the course in order for you to be prepared for the CPC. How would you say someone is doing well? I'm not trusting just passing the course. Do you feel like you understand it? Do you feel like you comprehend it? No, Tiffany, you're fine. If you do the CPC course, if you want that medical terminology, then you do have to purchase that MTAP or that prerequisite course on top of it. It is not included in the course. There is a chapter that does a very high level overview of medical terminology and anatomy. And by very high level, I mean, here's the way that I always explain it. Let me get my books here real quick. Hang on, I gotta find them. I just had them. Here we go. Okay. So your medical terminology and anatomy chapter in the textbook is 40 something pages, right? You have 40 pages. This little section here is your med term and anatomy. And this is your whole textbook. Versus a medical terminology and anatomy textbook would be this big. The textbook, well, the ebook version of the med term textbook that you would get with the course is this big. Like, so it's a very high level of what is included in the CPC course. Like I said, it's just one tiny little chapter, but it's very, very high level. May I ask what specialty I've coded? I've done a lot of different specialties, essentially everything except for cardio, if that makes sense. So I do a lot of auditing is what I tend to do, and what I have spent most of my career doing, minus the first couple of years where I did HCC coding with risk adjustment. but I have done auditing for many, many specialties. Tips for getting through chapter 10. Oh, that's a hard one. Chapter 10 is hard. Everybody struggles with chapter 10. You are not alone in the fact that you are struggling with chapter 10. Just take your time with it. Do practice scenarios. Do your interactive lectures, things along those lines. Just take your time with it. Just, if you have to spend 2 or 3 weeks on chapter 10, spend 2 or 3 weeks on chapter 10. I actually just went over chapter 10 with students last night in one of my classes. And the advice that I gave to them if they felt overwhelmed was to, and it may or may not be the best advice, but do the rest of the course and then come back to chapter 10 later when you have kind of absorbed everything else, and then you feel like your brain can process chapter 10 a little bit easier. Chapter 10 is cardiovascular. What is auditing? So auditing is going to be, you can do auditing in a couple different ways. If you're doing it from the, the professional side of things, or you're doing it at a doctor's office, auditing is just going to be looking at your coders, what they have assigned to your charts, to your claims, whatever, and then validating it or saying this should have been used instead. That just makes sure that your providers are getting paid what they should get paid. They're not getting underpaid. They're not getting overpaid. Things along those lines. How long have I been in the field? Since 2007. A long time. Yes, you can do other chapters and then go back to them. You do not have to. They used to have the course structured in the way that you had to complete the previous chapter before moving on. But now you can move, you can skip a chapter if you want to and go back to it. Yeah, no, they've actually updated it and changed it to where you can move around in your chapters. About auditing, they were just asking what auditing was. So, very easily way of putting it is just checking to make sure that the codes that are assigned to the charts are the correct codes, and you're not overcoding, undercoding, and things along those lines. Where are the chapters? I'm not sure what you're asking. Mine are in, for chapter 10. No, the actual chapter 10, not ICD-10 chapter 10. For actual chapter 10 in the actual book in the course is your cardiovascular. Oh, the study guide. I don't know the layout of the study guide. I will be totally honest. Yeah, work from home is nice. I can't obviously guarantee that you will get a work from home position. A lot of the jobs in the field right now are work from home, but it's obviously not a guarantee. You're in a payment and auditing specialist. Yeah. So it really is just going to depend. Every employer or facility or group or whatever you're a part of, every one of those is going to have different job titles and things. So if you're a coding auditor, typically you will be auditing either the coders or the doctors that are, appending the charges or whatever it is. Oh, Jen, are you signing up? Are you signing up with Legacy? Jackie, you are doing an HIT program next week. Where can I sit for CCS, CPC, and RHIT? So the CPC will come from AAPC, so you will go directly through them to get your CPC certification. And then your CCS and your RHIT, those will have to come directly from AHIMA. You finished med term and you're on chapter 8. Yeah. Yeah, some of the chapters are a little heavy. It's just a lot of information to process. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Jen, you're doing it through Legacy. I don't know that I've seen your name on lives and chats and things that we've done before. So I'm glad you're doing Legacy. Yeah, I can only imagine with you, driving a bus and doing all of that. You're driving all the kids around everywhere while your kids are waiting for you. That's hard. Jackie, I don't know. You would have to check with your program and see what all is included in the program for that. We use AAPC curriculum, so it's not like a McGraw-Hill or Cengage or anything along those lines. This is the textbook that is written by AAPC. It is the AAPC course. AAPC's who writes the certification exams, so therefore their course is directly geared towards the certification exams. Do I have an opinion on physical books or online books? I loathe online ebooks. I have always been a physical book kind of girl. I feel like I will use them until they pry them out of my cold dead hands. Or they tell me that that physical books are not even an option anymore. And then that is going to be the day that I probably lose my mind. But the reason for, especially from a testing perspective, when you use ebooks from a testing perspective, it is a blank slate. They do not let you pull in your ebook from ones that you have notes in and things like that. However, that's depending on the way that you learn. Sometimes those notes in the book are really what help you process the information. Like, for instance, if you are doing the Legacy course, then you will get book prep included in your course. So it will help your book eventually look like this, which is a book prep method that I have created myself. This is exactly how my books look, is included in the book prep documents. So if you're doing ebooks on the exam, you will not have any books. It is going to be a blank slate of that ebook. Is the manual physical as well? I was enrolled in another program. Everything that we do in our programs are physical books. So you will get the physical copy of the textbook and the workbook. You will get the physical copy of the coding manuals, all of that. Yeah, absolutely. You would qualify more than likely for a Coder 1 position at a hospital, as long as you're doing professional coding. If you are doing facility coding, and that's what their Coder 1 is, we do not prepare for facility coding. So we only teach professional coding, not facility coding. Yeah, I am too, Lady Di. I need physical copies. Even whenever, like, not that I ever have any time to do it now, but whenever I would read books, I could not do a Kindle or an ebook. I always had to have the physical book in hand. Like, I tried so many times to, like, make the switch over to Kindle, and I just can't do it. I have to have those physical books. So if they don't provide the CCS and CPC books, can I get the ones that you showed? So for the CCS, you will need the ICD-10-CM, you will need the CPT, and then you will need the ICD-10 PCS. Okay, those are the 3 books that you would need for the CCS. For the CPC, you will need the CPT book, the ICD-10-CM, and the HCPCS. So majority of the books are going to be the same. There's just going to be a little bit of a trade-off with some of them. Beth, are there any benefits to learning with Legacy versus AAPC? Absolutely. So we offer AAPC material in our course. It's like you are going directly through AAPC. However, our prices are better and we offer a lot more. With the self-paced course with AAPC, their minimum package is $27.99. Okay. Our self-paced course year round, there's not going to be any crazy specials, no 50% off, all of those things. Our self-paced course is $2,700, but you can use code TRCC and get 10% off. So that takes $270 off. So that'll drop it down to like $2,400, I think, and some change. I think it's $2,430, I think is what it is, if I'm doing the math right. So you get all of your textbook, your workbook, all 3 of your coding manuals. You get your AAPC membership for 1 year. You get 2 exam vouchers. You get coaching. You get book prep. You get boot camp. You get resume services. You get once you've passed your certification exam, then you get Practicode, which will remove the apprenticeship from your certification, and then you get an internship that gives you on-the-job experience. No, so super. The course is going to be learning module based on the computer, but you get the physical copy of the textbook. All of your assignments that you have to complete and the interactive lectures that you listen to are in the Blackboard platform. Is facility inpatient or ICD-10 PCS? So the facility coding, inpatient facility coding, is going to be your ICD-10 PCS. Yeah, Sarah, I'm with you. I have to have actual books. Jackie, if you're saying you're going to write everything in the course, if you go to the link in my bio, let me actually pull it up on the website and I'll show you here. So if you go to the link in my bio, that will take you to medicalbillco.com/CPC. I'm pulling it up here, and then I'm going to flip my camera around and show you. So if you go to the website, medicalbillco.com/CPC, you're going to go to your medical coding courses. I'm trying to get it where you guys can see everything. There we go. So you're on medical coding courses. If you click on your CPC course, if you're doing the self-paced, it's $2,700. If you want the instructor-led, it's $3,700. Okay. Self-paced is going to include everything as your instructor-led. The instructor-led just adds 3 hours to the, it just adds 3 hours of instruction from me once a week going over scenarios. This is everything that's included in the course. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, Jackie, this is everything that's included in the course. You get your Blackboard learning modules, which is the AAPC course itself, your textbook and your workbook, your coding manuals, coaching as needed, AAPC membership for 1 year, your exam voucher. You get 2 vouchers for your CPC exam. You do get 1 official AAPC practice exam. Once you are certified, you'll go through Practicode to remove the apprenticeship. Once Practicode has been done, then you will go into your internship, and that adds on the job experience. Now, you can do your resume services at the completion of your course before you do your certification exam and your Practicode and all of that to help you gear up. But this is everything that's included in the course. Yeah, Lady Di. They are very expensive and they don't offer everything. So yeah. The discount code. So, okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me go back up. Hang on. I just had a whole bunch of questions come in at once, and I make sure I want to make sure I don't miss any. Jenny, don't worry about AI. AI is just going to help us become more efficient. It will never replace us. I promise you. There's, at least in our lifetime, AI is never going to take over. The internship. So the internship is 400 cases. So if you go to the website, there is the whole section that talks about the internship. It is based on hierarchical condition coding, or HCCs, risk adjustment. You are only going to be coding conditions or ICD-10 CMs. And then there is 400 cases. You can do it at your own pace. It does have to be completed within 1 year. And it is included in any of the CPC courses. Oh, Jackie, the books, if your program does not give them. You would need a total of 5 books if you are wanting to do CPC and CCS. You are going to need the ICD-10 CM, the CPT, and your HCPCS. Those are the 3 for the CC or the CPC. Then for your CCS, you will need the CPT Professional Edition. You will need the ICD-10 CM and the ICD-10 PCS. So sorry, that was 4 books total. What do you suggest to take, CPC, self-paced, or instructor-led? It totally depends on your learning style. If you feel like you can pick up on things easily and not have to have additional instruction or explanation, then self-paced might be ideal for you. If you feel like you tend to need additional instruction or explanation on certain topics, if you can't just read a textbook or watch a video and it makes sense, if you feel like you have to ask a lot of questions, which is totally fine. Some people's learning styles just need that interaction, then that would be whenever I would suggest your instructor-led. What is better, CPC or CCS? It depends on what type of coding you want to do. If you want to do professional coding, meaning you want to work for a doctor's office and do physicians or nurse practitioners, things along those lines, then that would be your professional coding. CCS is going to be more facility coding for their overhead charges for housing the patient for however many days for their stay. The website is medicalbillco.com/CPC. The link is in my bio on that. The discount code for anything that you purchase on the Legacy website is TRCC. Is the instructor-led 3 hours one-on-one with you per week, or does it include others? So Rachel and I are the only coaches with Legacy Education. The 3 hours is with me personally, but you can schedule coaching with Rachel if you need additional time, and my calendar is not open. Is the start time for classes 6 to 9? Does that mean that we cannot be late or we have to be on the dot for class at 6? No. Everything is recorded, so if you have to come in later, then that's totally fine. I do just ask that you do it quietly and respectfully. But you can always go back and listen to the beginning of the class, the recording, if you need to. You do not have to complete Practicode within the 1 year of the course. The way that our courses are structured is it's a rolling enrollment. So if you did that, then your CPC course, you would have 1 year to complete that. And then we would enroll you, or we would start your membership and your exam voucher. You would have 1 year for that. Then you can do Practicode, and you would have 18 months for Practicode. And then you would have 1 year for the internship. So it's a rolling enrollment, and we don't enroll you in the next step so that your time is not wasting away on other, like while you're doing other things. If you enrolled with another program and stopped at chapter 10, now that I'm with you, would I start all over? Or can I pick up where I left on the AAPC website? I believe you would have to start all over, but let me double check with Rachel. Shoot me a message, Lady Di. Have you gone through another program? Is that what you're saying? Any advice on getting through medical terminology chapter with AAPC? You do not have to memorize everything. Just kind of get a general foundation and understanding of your information, and then it will start to click and make sense as you go through your other chapters. The website is medicalbillco.com/CPC. If you go to the link in my bio up at the very top, so if you click out of the live for a second, go to the link in my bio, then it has the link tree, and the very first link that's on there is for this website. Is it a good certification for specialist coding? I'm not sure, what do you mean by specialist coding? What if I'm not available during those days and hours? Are there any other days that I can join? Unfortunately, right now, the only days that we have for instructor-led are Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to do the instructor-led, you can always listen to the recordings later, and then reach out if you do have any questions. But as of right now, those are the only times that we have. And the reason for that is I do still work a full-time job. I do still work a corporate full-time job, so I'm unavailable during the day. But I am available on the nights and the weekends for sessions if you need additional help. Beth, I would suggest that if you feel like you need to brush up on terminology, you can. It's not a requirement that you're going to have to show anything. But it's just one of those things that if you feel, like you need that refresher, then absolutely you can just go out and watch YouTube videos. We have a lot of medical terminology and anatomy videos on our YouTube channel. How does one-on-one work? If you are enrolled as a student with Legacy, then we'll send you a link that you can schedule, that it'll have a calendar showing availability for the times and days that we can meet. Oh, kindness, you have your exam on the 14th. I hope everything goes well as well. I know it's nerve-wracking and it's exciting, but I hope everything goes well for you for sure. I'm going to turn my camera back around here real quick. What other questions you guys got? Yeah, I do. I don't really have any plans, to quit doing it, because I feel like if I'm going to teach it, then I feel like I need to be in it, right? Average pay for coders. That's going to completely depend on your location, and the years of experience and things like that. You haven't even started, and thinking about test day makes you nervous. No, it definitely can be nerve-wracking for sure. If you go through you are going through our course, Kimmy. So we will definitely make sure that you are prepared for it. And we have plenty of practice scenarios and things that you can use to prepare for it. Don't stress out over it. We'll be there for you every step of the way. Brand new on the 4th chapter for ICD-10 and struggling. Just take it chapter by chapter with ICD-10. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. Don't overthink it. Make sure that you are going and reading the documentation and doing doing, you know, what is documented and you're not reading too much into it and say like that. You failed so many times the NCLEX. NCLEX is hard. NCLEX is crazy. It's going to be similar to the NCLEX, but not as daunting as the NCLEX. It's going to be you're going to have your coding manuals you can take in with you, all of your prep and things like that. You're finally CPC certified. Congratulations. Now on the job hunt. Yeah. Make sure you have your resume professionally done. That's a big thing that our students have said has really helped in their job search. Should we start with basic coding and then build off that, or start with 2? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Caitlin. Is there a payment plan? Yes, we do have a payment plan with Legacy. It's powered through SweetPay. There's a 10% down payment. I keep saying discount. There's a 10% discount if you use code TRCC, but there is a 10% down payment. And then you do have a $59 service fee charge and then a tiny little bit of an interest rate. It's not anything astronomical. But that is an option for payment plans. I do not teach CCS courses. I do not have my AHEMA CCS certification. So that is not something that I am able to teach. No. So you're testing, you have 100 multiple choice questions. So you will have 100 multiple choice questions and 4 hours to finish. The best way to study, go through a structured course. Go through a course that gives you the opportunity to read your textbook, have interactive lectures, plenty of assignments and scenarios to practice, things like that. The more practice and the more scenarios that you do, the more comfortable you're going to get with your book and the information. If you do self-paced, so if you're going through Legacy and you start self-paced, you do have the option to do one-on-one coaching. That is included in the cost of the course. If you decide that you need the instructor-led and you want to upgrade to the instructor-led and meet that those 3 hours each week, then you can upgrade to the instructor-led and just pay the difference, the $1,000 difference, because the self-paced is $2,700, instructor-led is $3,700. So you can pay the difference and convert to instructor-led. We've had multiple students do that without any problems. So that is an option if you feel like you need that instructor-led after you do self-paced. Or like while you're doing self-paced, if you want to convert, then that's totally fine. Morgan, you did chapter 1 today. Exciting. What'd you think of it? No, the internship is only 1 year. I don't believe the internship can be extended. You're not even certified yet, but what position do you recommend for a beginner? I like to tell people not to go into a specialty because you don't really know what it is that you're going to like. So just kind of go out and look at just all of your positions, see what kind of piques your interest type thing. A lot of people do start in HCC. That is where I started out. However, the only drawback with that is there are a lot of places that once you start in HCC, they want people that have CPT experience. So sometimes starting out in HCC can be a little bit of a challenge, switching from HCC to professional coding. So just keep that in mind. If you want to learn regarding quality like ACL, MIPS, QPP, would you recommend a certain type of coding? No, just your professional coding is going to be, you're going to worry about all of that together with your, yeah, chapter 1 is a lot, Morgan. If we decided to convert from self-paced to instructor-led, yeah, you would have to wait until there's an opening to start classes. You can continue the course. And then your class, you would just do whenever we would start, you would kind of quote unquote start over. You wouldn't have to redo the assignments, but you would just start reviewing that material over again. Is the internship paid? No, unfortunately it is not. It is an unpaid internship. It is at your own course or at your own pace. Do companies have internships for medical coding? Some of them do, some of them don't. There's not really a... Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Jennifer. Yeah, even if you're not in the course, you can ask us questions on lives. Absolutely, 100%. We don't offer a military discount. However, you can use code TRCC, and that gives you 10% off of anything that you purchase on our website. Do you need a certain computer for the course? No, as long as your computer can play videos, then you're good. I've had some students that have done it on iPads or Samsung Galaxy tablets. Yeah, as long as you have the ability to play videos, yeah, then you're totally fine. Any advice for getting a job right after with the A? The biggest thing is apply to everything. Don't just look for jobs that say CPC accepted. Apply to everything, put yourself out there, because if you don't, it's an automatic no, right? You're telling yourself no. I know sometimes it can get disheartening whenever you do tend to get those rejection emails whenever you are applying to everything. But if you don't put yourself out there, then it's an automatic no. Versus if you put yourself out there, they may end up taking a chance on you. I've had a lot of students that say, well, I applied to a job that said they required 2 years, but they reached out and said they didn't have somebody that met all of their requirements. And then I got an interview and I got the job. Yes. When you are doing the certification exam, process of elimination is going to be key from a timing perspective. So yes, absolutely 100%. If you were to sit and code everything from scratch, you would never get those 100 cases done in 4 hours. That would just not be an option. Working on chapter 18. Yeah, chapter 18 is that Path and Lab. I think it is, right? 18. Yep, Path and Lab. My piece of advice for Path and Lab is don't necessarily use your alphabetic index too much. Use your use the table of contents in the beginning of the chapter and just know your guidelines. Just practice as many options or as many scenarios as you can. If you do the instructor-led, yes, we do have, sessions on each one of the chapters. However, if you're doing the self-paced, then no, you just have the interactive lectures for each one of the chapters. Super, I will be totally honest, I'm not sure what goes into the CCSP. So I can't say for sure because I don't know kind of the information that's on CCSP. So I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Do the books comes with tabs? I believe that they should. I can't say 100% for sure. CPT should for sure. ICD-10, I don't know if they have added them in there yet. However, I will say I am not a huge proponent of tabs because there are a lot of students that rely too heavily on the tabs and they don't actually learn the layout of the book. So I encourage my students to not tab. You may be slower in the beginning, but I promise you will speed up and you will get faster. But that is my stance on tabs. I used to tab my book and then they got in the way and they slowed me down. And then my students just say the same thing. They're like, hey, I thought you were crazy for telling me not to tab and to learn the book. But it really does help you learn the layout of the book. Everything is in numerical order. Everything is in alphabetical order. So therefore, if you're looking for a 30,000 codes, you're going to be after the 20,000 and before the 40,000. So that is my stance on tabs. Take it or leave it. You might tell me I'm crazy and that's totally fine. But that's my stance. Of the 100 cases on the certification test, how many are single codes? Every test is going to be different. I can't say for sure. They are all going to be multiple choice, but there are going to be some that have one code. There's going to be some that have multiple codes. It's just going to completely depend on the exam that you get. Have I heard when fill in the blanks are going to be on the exam? I have not heard anything official. I've heard a lot of speculation. I do know that they are going to beta test this year. They did not say when they're going to start beta testing, but they did tell us that you do have the option of opting in or out of the beta testing if you are chosen for it. So I don't know. I will tell you my professional opinion. If they are going to beta test this year, they are not going to implement in the middle of the year. They have never, in my 17, 18 years of doing this and being with AAPC, they have never made a change for an exam mid-year. It has always come beginning of the year. So, in my professional opinion, the earliest that we would see multiple choice or fill in the blanks on everybody's exam and not beta testing is going to be January, in my opinion. Don't go running and saying I said, but that's my professional opinion. Yeah, Jeannie, as a person that tabbed in 2024 and didn't tab 2025, no tabs is so much better. Yes. Yes, I am a huge proponent for no tabs. Where can I find my local in-person test? You will have to see the official locations. You will have to get an AAPC voucher in order to see the actual physical locations. You can go onto the AAPC site, and they do have somewhere on the site, I'd have to look for it, but they do have where you can see what cities you have. So like if you tend to have a larger university or a community college in your town, then you will more than likely, I can't say for sure, but you will more than likely have a testing center in your city. Is the CRC exam difficult to pass? Do you find ICD-10-CM easy to comprehend and understand? That's going to be majority of your exam. You will have some rules, regulations, guidelines, and then auditing types and risk adjustment specific information. But majority of it will be your ICD-10-CM. I think I got everybody's questions, but there were a lot that came in. So I was trying to scroll and not miss any. But if I missed any questions, let me know. Do I recommend in person versus online? 1000% in person. I've heard so many horror stories, especially this last week or two, about people testing at home and either being kicked off or they've had to reschedule or all of that kind of stuff. But I highly recommend in person. If you're doing it at home, then if your internet goes out, if your power goes out, if your computer glitches, if anything happens, then you forfeit your exam. However, if you are in a testing center and anything like that happens, then they will reschedule your exam. Just getting started looking into all of this, the first cert that's needed. There's not a requirement of first, second, third. The one that people tend to go for first is the CPC. Lady Di, what was your question? Can you just put it in here again? Because there was a lot that came in all at once. I'm having issues with the codes. Okay, so those are ICD-10 PCS codes. I personally do not have experience with those, so I would not be able to give you much advice on how to find codes like that, unfortunately. But those are going to be ICD-10 PCS codes, kindness. Yeah, it's absolutely possible to get a job with the CPCA. Yeah. Hang on. Do I have subscriptions turned on? Jennifer and Daniel, it says that you just purchased a subscription, but I don't remember turning subscriptions on. Let me look, because I don't remember turning that on. And I don't know. I need to look at it, because I don't want you to think that you're going to get something that I don't know that I need to be given. I do. What does it say? What do I have on subscription? Hang on. I'm looking. I don't know what hang on, guys. Don't anybody else subscribe to it, because I don't know what it entails, and I don't want. Hang on, guys. I'm looking at. It's the first time you've ever subscribed on TikTok. I know. I don't even know that I knew that I had it on. So I want to make sure that if I have subscriptions on, like, I don't. Like, I'm not promising that I'm going to give something that I don't know I'm supposed to be given. So I just want to make sure that I know. I mean, I think it looks like you're the only one that has subscribed. So I just want to make sure that there's not anything out there that I'm promising to give subscribers anything that. I'll look into it and I'll let you know. The subscriber star is in the corner. If you click on it, you can subscribe. Okay. Interesting. I think it's just you guys just showing support for me, because on my thing it's saying that, like, it's not saying that there's anything special that I have to do. There's badges, there's stickers that you guys can use. Subscriber perks. Hang on, let me see what it says perks would be. Okay. Oh, I see what it is. So, like, your guys, I see what it is. If you do a subscription, your direct messages kind of take priority. Your comments take priority. Live shout outs. You guys can help me figure out what, I see what it is. Okay. I see what it is. I don't know that I knew that I even had it turned on to even know that it was something that I needed to look at. Well, thank you for subscribing. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to questions, because I know some were coming in as I was. Testing with, Brittany says testing with a proctor was stressful. Yeah, I've heard it's a crazy thing for sure. Lady Di, I'm not seeing any comments or any questions that are coming in. I don't know if they're filtering them out. So real world coding is going to be different. Okay, it is, but your course is going to lay a good foundation. But it is, so I mean, it's going to be similar but different all at the same time. Your real world coding is, you're obviously going to have other policies and things like that from a like provider standpoint, from a employer standpoint, and things like that. Your course, like I said, is just going to teach you the basics. It's going to lay that good solid foundation so that when you go to add on your employer policies and payer policies and things like that, then it kind of like sticks a little bit better. Jennifer, I can absolutely start working on exclusive content. I just don't know like how quickly I would be able to get it out. So yeah, I mean, if you want to cancel, absolutely. I'm not going to get my feelings hurt at all. What is the average time that a student completes self-paced? With our course, the average is 4 to 5 months. So do I offer videos as far as breaking down each chapter, explaining it in detail? No, we don't have those like specifically with Legacy in your course. Then there are those interactive lectures. And those interactive lectures are what break it down for you. And then if you're doing live instruction, then we'll go over scenarios and apply that knowledge and kind of tie it all together. The self-paced, yes, the self-paced has those has those interactive lectures. The instructor-led, you will have those interactive lectures, but we will also tie in that information in the instructor-led as well. You're on chapter 9 and the cases, yeah, the cases are hard. The cases are hard for sure. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. I have to hop off here. I know you guys have a lot of questions, and I'm thankful that you guys hopped on and have been asking questions and things like that. But if you need anything, let me know. Shoot me messages, comment, whatever it is. And then I will chat with you soon. Don't forget, we do have our study group tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in my bio to register for that. So hopefully I will chat with you guys then. Have a great night.